On Live with Kelly and Mark, Mark Consuelos and his wife, Kelly Ripa, occasionally act a little inappropriately. However, he said this week that she went too far and that he almost had to report her to HR. The crowd adores it, of course, and Mark's awkward days are long gone. Well, and Live is where Mark Consuelos settled. Kelly received an Emmy. Kelly Ripa believed the executives were crazy when they proposed that she collaborate with her husband on the show. She actually thought there were far too many warning signs. Although it didn't first appear that the public would accept Mark's permanent presence on the show, he quickly became accustomed to it, and they even won an Emmy. Mark Consuelos occasionally says things that are a little too provocative or a little below the belt. But in that area, his wife appears to prevail. Kelly Ripa's TMI is not unheard of, but it appears that she has suddenly overreached herself backstage. Her spouse made a joke about almost having to report to HR. Live with Mark and Kelly, the crowd was not able to witness what transpired backstage this week, according to HR report monsters and critics. Kelly Ripa told the story, according to the outlet. "I did something backstage that was so inappropriate that I would probably be fired right now if we weren't married," she claimed. Prior to the commencement of the Live with Kelly and Mark show, Mark Consuelos made his wife feel a lot of affection for his shirt and slacks. He complimented her on her clothes, and she told him how much she liked him. She continued by adding that Mark said, "I may or may not file a grievance," in response to the intimate story being told. But since he was joking, he also said, "No, it's okay. Fans hope their favorite talk show host don't retire too soon because the Live duo seems to be quite slick and good at their banter these days." How do you feel about Mark Consuelos implying that Kelly Ripa's involvement behind the scenes would require him to submit a report to HR? Do you like how laid back these two have become since he replaced Ryan Seacrest? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and return frequently for all of your Live with Kelly and Mark updates. When it comes to Live with Kelly and Mark, viewers are used to a little bit of friendly fire between married co-hosts Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. Their chemistry, a mixture of charm, wit, and the occasional on-air roast, has become part of the morning show's appeal. But on Tuesday morning's episode, that playful banter took an unexpected turn that left both the audience and the crew wondering if things had gone a bit too far. The incident began innocently enough. The pair were discussing office dynamics, a segment inspired by a recent viral article about workplace romances. Kelly, always the provocateur, couldn't resist poking fun at her husband. "I think it's safe to say you'd make a terrible HR manager," she teased, turning to Mark with that signature mischievous grin. Mark smirked. "Oh, really? Because I'm the one who'd be filing an HR report on you every day." The audience erupted in laughter, but the playful jab didn't end there. Kelly leaned forward, mock offended. "Excuse me? What HR report? What are you accusing me of now?" Mark, clearly enjoying himself, leaned back and folded his arms. "Let's just say there have been multiple incidents of inappropriate behavior at the workplace, excessive teasing, flirtation, and let's not forget," he pointed dramatically toward her chair, "that time you tried to tickle me during a commercial break." Kelly gasped in full outrage, clutching her chest. "Oh, please. That was a love tap, not a tickle." But the bit didn't stop there. With the camera zooming in on Mark's exaggerated expression of concern, he continued the mock-serious routine. "As your co-host and employee, I have a right to a safe, tickle-free environment." By then, the Live studio audience was in hysterics. Kelly, unable to hold back her laughter, wiped tears from her eyes. "Well, go ahead then. File your HR report, Mr. Consuelos. I'll see what our imaginary HR department has to say about your constant gym flexing in my line of sight. That's a distraction." The audience roared, and even producer Michael Gelman couldn't hide his grin as the camera caught him shaking his head in the background. Still, what started as harmless teasing soon became a running joke throughout the episode. and one that seemed to hit a little too close to home for some fans watching at home. Social media lit up minutes after the episode aired. Clips of Mark declaring he'd file an HR report went viral on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Fans were divided, some loving the playful banter, others wondering if there might be a kernel of truth behind the humor. Mark looked like he meant that a little too much, one fan posted. Kelly's face when he said HR report, priceless. But also, what happened off camera? Another wrote. Speculation, of course, ran wild. Viewers have long commented on how the couple's on-screen chemistry sometimes blurs the line between work and marriage. While most fans know their banter is part of the show's charm, others have wondered whether it ever causes real tension behind the scenes. According to a production insider who spoke hypothetically in a lifestyle interview parody later posted to social media, the HR report bit wasn't in the script. They improvise a lot. The insider said, "That's what makes the show magic. They trust each other enough to play with the line between real and ridiculous. But sometimes Mark's jokes catch Kelly off guard, and vice versa." Kelly fires back, in classic Kelly fashion. By the next segment, Kelly had regained full control of the narrative. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said dramatically as the show returned from a commercial break, "we have breaking news. My husband has formally filed an HR complaint against me." The studio camera panned to Mark, who had an envelope in his hand labeled HR report confidential. "I had to," he said, mock serious. "This kind of misconduct cannot go unchecked." Kelly crossed her arms. "Oh, let me guess. Is it because I told everyone you color coordinate your socks before bed?" Mark tried to keep a straight face but failed miserably. "That's private, Kelly. That's confidential information protected by co-host privacy policy." Thelman chimed in off camera. "There is no such policy." "See?" Kelly said, pointing toward the producer booth. "Even our HR department thinks you're overreacting." The entire exchange turned into one of life's most memorable comedy moments, complete with Mark pretending to type a report on his phone while Kelly narrated the offense aloud for the audience. Date: Tuesday morning. Offense: excessive sass and public humiliation. Witnesses: everyone in the studio. The laughter from the audience drowned out the end of the segment. But when Kelly jokingly ripped the report in half and tossed it into the air like confetti, fans could tell there was no real animosity, just another day in the Ripa Consuelo's comedy theater. Behind the laughs. A real look at their work-life dynamic. The fun of watching Live with Kelly and Mark often comes from seeing how the couple navigates the blurred boundaries between personal and professional life. Hosting a nationally broadcast morning show with your spouse isn't exactly a normal 9 to 5, and both Kelly and Mark have been candid about the challenges. In past interviews, Kelly has admitted that sharing the stage with her husband is a test in patience and partnership, while Mark has said it's taught him to laugh at himself and let her win occasionally, because she's usually right. Fans adore them precisely because they seem so real. Two people who argue, tease, forgive, and laugh all before the next commercial break. Still, this latest HR report gag struck a particular chord because it playfully mirrored a genuine truth: that boundaries are tricky when your spouse is also your coworker. It's relatable. One fan commented on Instagram, "We've all had moments where we wish we could file an HR report on our partners." After the show, their Instagram follow-up. Later that evening, Kelly and Mark posted a joint Instagram reel, continuing the joke for their followers. The video began with Mark seated at a desk, typing intensely. Kelly entered the frame with her trademark sass. "Are you still writing that report?" she asked. "Yes," Mark replied without looking up. "This is a 17-page document detailing your crimes against office decorum." Kelly gasped. "Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I'll be filing my own complaint against you for stealing all the good camera angles." The caption read, "Breaking. Live host faces HR investigation." by her husband. Hashtag couple goals, hashtag livelofar. Within hours, the clip racked up hundreds of thousands of views, with fans commenting things like, "These two are comedy gold," and "This is the kind of HR drama I'd watch every morning." The verdict? No real HR trouble, just real chemistry. Of course, no real HR report was ever filed, just a perfectly executed comedic bit that reminded fans why Live with Kelly and Mark remains one of daytime TV's most entertaining shows. What makes their banter special is that it's rooted in authenticity. Kelly and Mark's dynamic, witty, teasing, sometimes chaotic, feels like a real marriage unfolding live on national television. Whether they're discussing vacations, parenting, or workplace misconduct, they always circle back to laughter. And that, perhaps, is their real secret, knowing how to turn every moment, even a mock HR scandal, into television gold.